up guys, Candice B here. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. Welcome back to my subscribers and welcome to my new ones. So in today's video, I thought that it would be kind of fun to show how I personally like to backtest the market. For those of you who don't know, backtesting basically means that you are going back into history and you're testing out your strategy to see how strong it is against market conditions. Because history tends to repeat itself in Forex, backtesting is a very good way of just getting used to the movements of the market and practicing your strategy. For me, I like to be as specific as possible when I'm backtesting, so I'll study each currency pair that I trade individually, as well as each trading session individually. So that being said, right now I'm going to just be backtesting GBPJPY, of course, during the New York session specifically. And as a disclaimer, this is just how I personally backtest and study the charts. It's what's working for me. Some people backtest, some people don't, to each their own, but I personally think that it's important. So of course, I always encourage you guys just to figure out what works for you. But let me just stop blabbering. I'm just gonna try to make this video short and sweet, so let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that I do is I randomly choose a time period to backtest. So for me, I don't like to go too far back, like to 2005 or something. I try to keep it within the last 2 to 3 years. So right now, this is current price action over here. So I'm just going to go to the weekly actually. Okay, go to the weekly. Okay, so I'm on the weekly time frame as you can see, and I'm just going to scroll back here. This at the top here on Trading Views where you would click to use the bar replay, so I'm just gonna click that. And I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm just gonna choose a random place. Random place. Did it? Oh no, it didn't do it. Okay, let me just go press anywhere. Okay, so now that I have chosen an area where to start, what I want to do is I want to make sure that it's the beginning of the week that I'm starting. So I'm just going to go down to the 1 hour and see. I'm gonna probably have to get my calculator out. I mean, not my calculator, my calendar. Okay, so this is May 5th, 2017. So on my calendar, that is okay, so May 5th on the calendar is a Friday in 2017, so that's perfect because the Monday would be the Sunday. Okay, and market opens on Sunday, of course. So let me just, I'm gonna mark the beginning of the week here. So as you can see, if you look down, that's 5 p.m. May 7th, 2017. This is an Eastern Standard Time, so that's market open. And then what I want to do is I want to also mark out the week's end. This is just what I personally do, which will be May 12th at 4 p.m. of course. Okay, so now that we have both of these marked out, I'm just gonna lock them in so they don't move. And what I do next is I just do my little, top-down analysis. So I'm gonna start on the weekly. Okay, so now I'm going to just do my top-down analysis and kind of go from there and show you guys. So right away I see that of course the market closed in this area here for the last week, so I'm going to use that as a zone, but I'm just going to draw it out to the left just to kind of get a better idea. I do see that price is approaching this area here, so this is where I'm going to kind of draw my zone. And yeah, not too much on the weekly that I can see. I do see that price was in this bearish rally, making lower highs, lower lows, and then it bottomed out here. It pulled up, breaking this lower high, lower low structure, and since then it's retraced, and now it looks like it's pushing up. So I want to see what the daily will show. Okay, so the daily, I'm trying to do this quick, but this is basically what I do. I take my time obviously when I'm doing this. Okay, so I see on the daily that there's just this huge bullish rally. Okay, I think I'm gonna go down to the 4 hour just to kind of see more detail. Okay, so we see the higher lows, higher highs. Let me move this out the way. Higher lows, higher highs. I see that price did pull back in this area right before market close, so I'm going to draw a zone here because that's a more recent zone, and I see that there is a kind of a support zone down here. Okay, that's on the H4. Let's go to the H1, see what that looks like. So for me, I like to trade the break and retests of a zone and a trend. Or if I see a major zone being rejected, let's say a double top, double bottom, then I like to trade that as well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna use this feature up here. It lets me go forward, so I'm just going to start moving forward. So mind you, this is May 7th is the Sunday, so I don't trade Sunday evenings when market opens, so I'm just going to wait until the price kind of sets itself up, and May the 8th is when it really will start. It's 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so this is May the 8th, and I personally am just backtesting New York session, so I'm going to wait until it's usually around 6 that I start looking at the charts. And so I would have had this all planned out the night before, obviously. So I'm gonna go down to the 30-minute. Now that this is 5:30, okay, so I'm kind of just like waking up now. Have everything marked out, and once I look at the charts, I see that price is at this area. So what I'm going to do, just kind of want to make this a bit more specific. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what happens. So 6:30 I wake up, or 6 a.m. I wake up. I don't really see a move yet. I do see that price is rejecting this zone, and it is in an uptrend, and it kind of pulled back. So I want to wait for a bullish candle to close in order for me to want to enter. So I'm going to go to the next candle. That's 6:30. Okay, so technically speaking, it would be 7 a.m. that I'd be entering, since this is a 6:30 candle and it closed. So I go here, choose my long position, and I pretty much map out that my entry would be the close of the 6:30. So up here it shows everything to do with the candles. As you can see, when I move it, it changes. So 145, 920. So I'm going to just map that out. 145, 920. So I want my stop loss to be under the low of this candle. Sticks 25 pips, and then I want my take profit to be just at the top of this zone. So as you can see, it's about a 1 to almost 2, 1 to 2 risk to reward. And so as you can see, if we double click, my profit is at 146,360. My stop loss is at 145.662. And from there, I just see what happens. So, and mind you, as I'm doing this, I'm writing down the time I enter, what I'm entering, either buys or sells. I'm just writing down my entry price, you know, my stop loss, my take profit, and then I talk about the results after. So this is what I do. I have a manual journal that I do this. This is different than my trading journal. Mind you, my trading journal is on my computer, and that's for actual real time. But the journal that I have to backtest, it's like a paper journal, so I'm actually writing it out. So let's see what happens. Boom. Okay, so my stop loss was hit at, I guess, 8:30, just because 8 a.m. is when this candlestick closed. So yeah, 8 a.m. actually it would have been. So what I would do is I would just kind of bring it here, and I would write in my journal result stop loss hit, and I would put how much it was hit by. So this is 25 pips, so this is a negative 2.5 risk. So that's how I would kind of keep it there, and I would just put this here. So this is what I'm going to add up at the end, and I would pretty much just keep going. So for me, what I'm practicing is just only taking one trade a day, one high quality trade a day. Doesn't matter what happens after I take the trade, I just want to take one trade and keep it moving. So what I would do is I would just keep going, and I want to get it to May the 9th, because May the 9th is the next day. So just see what happens, and you can press play and kind of see it'll do it automatically. And so you can kind of see this is 30 minutes, so every candle is a 30 minutes. All right, so pause. Now we are in the next day. We're on Tuesday, and I won't do the whole week for you guys, but I'm just kind of showing you what I do. I'll do Tuesday though. So For example, this is Tuesday, this is 1 a.m. So usually this is pre-London session, so in a different backtesting day, I would be practicing London, taking trades in the London session. So right now I'm not doing that, so I'm assuming that, let's say I'm sleeping, I'm assuming that I'm not catching any London trades. I'm just waiting for 6 a.m. so just kind of keep moving it. 4:30, 5, 5:30, 6. Okay, so now I'm awake and whatnot. So I see that there's this major zone that we had mapped out. If I go back to the H4, it'll show me that this was a zone that I had mapped out here. I'm gonna just make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so when I go here, okay, it's 6 a.m. So I see that price actually rallied up during London session, and it did reject this major higher time frame zone. So I wouldn't be looking for a trade yet. I want to wait and see because it's already rejected it. If I were trading London, maybe I would have caught a sell, but I want to see what happens. Maybe it'll break it. So this is all during London. This is 8 a.m. 8:30. Looks like it's about to break it. Ooh, and it broke. Okay, so now that I see at 10 a.m. that price broke this major zone, what I want to do is I want to wait for a retest of the zone, and then I would probably be looking to enter buys. Let's see what happens though. Okay, so now that I see this bearish close and this retest, I'm gonna wait for one more bullish candle, and that's just simply because I'm on the 30-minute time frame, and I'm finding that I'm enjoying backtesting on the 30-minute time frame just because there's more detail. So I'm just gonna see what happens. Okay, so I got my bullish candle. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in. So again, the close of this candle is where I'd be entering. So this is 11:30. So this is still New York session. London session is closing at this time, but New York is still open. So 147.749 would be the open. My stop loss, I would probably say I would want it under, trying to keep my stop loss tight, and I'm practicing just seeing if there's, even though, you know, 8 a.m. is New York open, a lot of times there is a big push at 10:30, 11. So I want to see if, you know, by practicing this, if I can catch those moves. And so I have my stop loss marked, my take profit. I want to see if I can find a take profit area. Obviously the good thing about backtesting is like it's going in your time, so that's kind of the most unrealistic part about it. But if you are planning your trades ahead of time, this is basically kind of replicating that. Yeah, so because when I look left, I see this kind of area here where price rejected, and then this is kind of another area where I see price rejected in the past. It makes me uncomfortable to take this trade now because we're already at this area. So this is the 1 hour. I go back down to the 30-minute. Yeah, so it's already there. I think that price is actually gonna end up rejecting, so I'm not gonna enter this buy instead. I want to see what happens from here. Oh, went up. Oh, snap. The price ended up not being able to break this area, so for me, I wouldn't, let's say, take a trade on Tuesday. So in my trading journal, in my backtesting journal, I would just be putting no trade, and then I would just kind of keep going along like that. Yeah, and let's see. Let me just do Wednesday just for the sake of this video. So Wednesday is the 10th. So again, just going to kind of fast forward until we get into Wednesday, which is the 10th. Nice and slow. Okay, now we're at the 10th. 3, 4. Pause. Okay, so this is 4:30, so I'm still not awake technically. Actually, usually I am awake at this time, but I'm pretending I'm not awake. So as you can see, price did end up pushing on Wednesday London session above into this area, but I would have been stopped out anyways because my stop loss was pretty tight. So yeah, and I would have had to hold it for so long. So yeah, now we're at 4:30. Let's see. This is 5:30, 6. I'm awake now. I'm looking at the charts, you know, not taking a trade yet. I'm just awake at my desk. I see that it's back in this kind of area. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to move this zone up here, and then I'm gonna kind of make another zone here just because it makes more sense to me. So we see that price isn't able to break below this area. So I would still be waiting, you know, 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30, and then I see that price is still respecting this. So what I will do is I'm going to take a buy here and see what would happen. So the close is 147.446, so that would technically be where I would be entering. Stop loss, keep it tight, keep it right under this area, right under this zone where it did not break. You know, some people would put it under here. We can put it under here, under this area, because in basically 1 hour it was unable to break below and close past this area. And then I'm just going to put my my take profit up in this area. So the risk to reward is about a 1-to-1, and let's see what happens. Ooh, snap. Okay, and stop loss, I mean take profit was hit, so cool. What I would do is I would pull it back here. This is when it was hit, and so that was at about 1:30. 1 o'clock, 1:30 is when it hit. So in my trading journal, I would just write, you know, why I took the trade, you know, pulled back, failed to break this zone, tried again, failed to break this zone, and now it rallied up to this major higher time frame area. So this is what I would consider a break and a retest. So as you can see, if I kind of map it out, so we have this bullish rally, we have this bounce. Just to kind of show you that it's a break and retest, I'm gonna pull this over. So just to show that it's a break and retest. So this, at first, this zone was a resistance, right? As you can see here, you can see here that price, when it hit here, it pulled back. So once price was able to break above this minor zone, I would call it, just because I drew it on a lower time frame, then it rallied up to the higher time frame zone and it pulled back. So I would consider that a retest. And then, you know, I waited because when I initially wanted to take a trade here, I saw that it was actually already at the zone. So, you know, taking a buy here would not have been the smartest. So waited for price to bounce, and this is all, you know, London and whatnot, Asian session, London session. And then again, we see that price rejected this area, pulled back for one last time. And this is where I took my entry and we just rode it up. And then, yeah, so I would just be marking that down as a win, and I would consider this, since it was 429 pips that was gained, I would put plus 4R, and yeah, that would basically be what I'd be doing. I kind of got this plus 4R, negative R idea from Rox FX on YouTube. I love his videos. He is awesome. Love his British accent too, but yeah, his videos are amazing. I encourage you guys to check those out if you want. But yeah, that's pretty much how I backtest, and you know, I would keep, you know, note of everything. I would go through the whole week. But there you have it, guys. That's pretty much all that I wanted to show you in this video. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by smashing that like button. I always appreciate it. And comment down below. Let me know if you want me to do more of these type of backtesting videos where I actually go through different currency pairs or commodities or whatever the case may be, or I test different trading sessions like the London session or Asian session, let me know. I know this video is kind of all over the place, I feel, but it's just because it's the first time I've actually recorded myself doing this, so it'll be a bit better in the future if I end up doing more. And last but not least, don't forget to subscribe so you know when I post another video. And in the meantime, feel free to check out any of my other videos on this channel and my other channel. But as always, I appreciate you guys so much for stopping by. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you have a phenomenal day, week, and life. Bye!